Hi, I'm Ken Steele. I'm back in the brand chemistry lab to talk to you about some brand trends I've noticed in recent years. I think there are quite a few trends in modern brand advertising for colleges and universities, and just this past year, one of the things I've really started to notice is a move towards more and more surrealism in brand marketing campaigns. I would say this particular trend first got my attention coming out of Aarhus University in Denmark, where they have a very surreal ad that came out in December 2024. I'll just play you the surreal clips here. I think you can see what I mean there. That is a bit surreal for sure. We also saw a surreal entry coming from the other side of the planet, RMIT University in Australia.
Got used to time, yeah? And the price of these groceries? Not very fair.
Instant noodles cost your weekly wage.
And the future seems fugid. Your head feels polluted.
It's the turning point and it's very bright.
That surreal kind of entry into the head of students, where it's a very dark space with light coming from a spotlight above, is something that was also picked up a few months later by Humber Polytechnic in a campaign that gets pretty surreal too.
Looking at the x-coordinate.
They say the hardest part is finding you.
But you and I know that is not exactly
true. Once you find you, what do you do?
With the you
knew was in you.
That sense of emptying your mind and getting surreal about it came through loud and clear too in a spot from Sioux College.
I said, empty your mind, empty your mind.
And then most recently, I think that same sort of surreal sense comes through in the new brand launch video from the University of Warwick, right down to the sense that we're underwater in a mysterious, echoey world.
Am I ready?
How can I find the answer?
Am I asking the right questions?
The sense of surreal is part of a broader marketing trend this year towards escapist kinds of scenarios. Some have argued that it also reflects the popularity of shows like Severance with their somewhat bleak, dehumanizing workplace. And that sense that things are getting a little more bleak is becoming pretty prominent in higher ed brand campaigns recently. I think it's perhaps started during the pandemic with a recognition that things were kind of bad right now, and it has continued as politics and geopolitics make the world seem worse every day. Pre-pandemic, Ryerson University, which we now know, of course, as Toronto Metropolitan University, had a campaign about building a better future that started with pretty bleak ideas about the present.
Lighting broke out overnight between
About a year later, York University, also in Toronto, approached us with a lot of overtly negative images that turned into positives, like this example of a floating plastic bag beneath the surface of the ocean, representing global pollution, being transformed into a jellyfish by students who would somehow create positive change for the environment and right the future. Fairly bleak view of technology in this brand campaign from Ontario Tech University, arguing for tech with a conscience.
The world will change more in the next 10 years than it has in the past 100. It is imperative that we make the right decisions now if we want a hopeful future. Tech with a conscience.
Now, the sense of bleakness becomes even more acute among institutions that are facing an existential financial crisis. And a couple of Ontario colleges have put out spots recently that really get kind of dark in emphasizing what the world would be like without their programs. This is a spot from Northern College last December. You don't see too many spots that are nothing but a heart rate monitor beside a hospital bed. Something perhaps even bleaker came out of Confederation College a few months after that.
His heart. He's pointing to his heart. How long does it take for somebody to get here? Please.
I'm wondering if you could send a tow truck as soon as possible. I was due for servicing and I couldn't get into a service department.
While it's specifically a video produced by Confederation College, it's to launch a lobbying effort to try to encourage government to reinforce their support for critical programs. And it feels like the kind of campaign that ought to be sector-wide, really. Just this June, I noticed a spot from the University of Hull in the UK that feels a bit like it opens with an acknowledgement, too, of that sense of futility, with a student saying, "What's the point?"
What's the point? What possible difference can I make in the world? That's just it. I am the difference. We are the difference. I'm not saying we've got all the answers. I'm saying this is where they're going to be found. So want to change lives? Start with yours.
Granted, the overall effect of that is not so bleak as the beginning note, but it certainly holds back a bit of skepticism from the student perspective. Another spot that sort of reflects some of that pessimism about the current reality and the path that we're on towards the future comes out of Australia. Just this July, Monash University put out a spot for their new campaign, Momentum Now.
Is time running out to create a world we'd be proud to leave behind?
Where's he at now?
I'm gonna go check his phones.
I'm down.
Surgery and your wife is just outside, okay?
The challenges we face may often feel too great to overcome. But together, with Monash University, we can change that. We have the knowledge, the capability, and the will to create change for future generations.
I think a lot of brand campaigns recently have started to emphasize the idea of pressing beyond, going above and beyond, pushing beyond, appealing to prospective students' aspirations, donors' wishes to push forward the boundaries of research. And unfortunately, the word is starting to get overused. So beyond is one of my cliches for this year's set of brand campaigns. It probably started long before this, but back in 2018, I noticed the University of Waterloo using the beyond word repeatedly in headlines for their AI program. More recently, across the pond at the University of Aberdeen, they've been trying to own the word beyond as well.
At Aberdeen, it's not about staying in your lane. It's about going beyond disciplines.
Beyond borders, beyond boundaries, so you can go further.
To spark lasting, positive change.
So, go beyond, now.
Join the boundary breakers, change makers, risk takers.
And follow your true north home.
Aberdeen is waiting.
That's a compelling, eloquent kind of way to convey the idea of leaving your country to go beyond borders, beyond boundaries, and get an education abroad in Scotland. The word beyond is also one that Mount Royal University adopted for its latest brand campaign.
Beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
And the University of Warwick adopted the word beyond for its brand position as well.
Just watch me.
So the University of Warwick says this is beyond. Down the road, the folks at Birmingham City University went even beyonder with their new campaign launched just in July, Beyonders, that talks about their researchers, their students, their faculty, their alumni as people who go beyond, who build, who open doors, who do more than is needed to sort of push forward Birmingham and the world as beyonders. I think the word's probably been worn out. Another phrase that a lot of brand campaigns have probably worn out is bring it. Sounds a bit like fighting words on the basketball court or perhaps in a cheerleading or glee club competition. In 2022, Capilano University said, no matter who you are, bring it.
No matter who you are, what you love, where you're headed, bring it.
A few months later, in 2023, Humber College, now Humber Polytechnic, likewise launched an elaborate campaign based on the phrase.
Humber is ready for you to bring it. Your bold ideas, your big dreams, your unique talents. So bring it to class. Bring it after class. Bring it to the field. Bring it in the field.
Bring it at Humber Polytechnic. Also across the pond at Loughborough University's Business School, prospective students are encouraged to bring it all.
Bring your purpose.
Bring your passion.
Bring your desire.
And determination.
Bring your hopes.
Bring your fears.
Bring your anger.
And optimism.
Bring your open mind.
Your vision. Your curiosity.
And kindness.
Bring your willingness to work together.
To be challenged.
Provoked.
And inspired.
Bring your authentic self.
Bring it all.
At Indiana University, on the other hand, they say bring on tomorrow.
Indiana University, bring on tomorrow.
And at Michigan's Muskegon Community College, they encourage us to bring it out.
Bring it out.
It also seems like every institution in the world wants to be thought of now as forward-looking, and the word forward is getting used and abused in multiple brand campaigns. UBC has probably been at this the longest, starting back in 2022, with their research-oriented campaigns focused on the word forward and the symbol, the chevron symbol for the fast-forward button. But they're certainly not alone.
The University of Maryland, fearlessly forward.
Colorado State University is charging forward.
And Fleming College has also had a campaign focused on Fleming Forward with the double chevron icon, fundraising campaign they launched in July 2024. I think another approach to trying to convey more than one idea about an institution has been getting tired lately. I'll call them intersections, but these frequently are taking the form of where X meets Y, and these are getting overdone now, I think. Maybe it's because more and more researchers are recognizing that interdisciplinarity has to be the focus. It's the center of academic plans, of business plans and strategic plans, growing interdisciplinary program offerings and research, like at UBC, where some 270 interdisciplinary clusters have been funded in recent years. But the where X meets Y slogan has been used by far too many institutions now. Starting with Ryerson, now known as Toronto Metropolitan University, back in 2015.
At Medicine Hat College, academic tradition meets innovation.
At UTS, creativity meets technology.
Whatever it means to you, one thing is certain. It's where thought meets action. And at KPU, it's only the beginning.
This is where university meets college, where theory meets practice, where ambition meets flexibility. This is Seneca Polytechnic.
I do sympathize. It's difficult to convey a bunch of complex ideas about an institution simultaneously, and most institutions want to own more than one idea or somehow convey the intersection of two important things that are giving students the best of both worlds. That desire to convey multiple ideas simultaneously is certainly commonplace across higher education institutions where I've been invited to help with brand strategy or institutional positioning. What I want to talk to you about next time is one possible solution to try to resolve some of those complexities using a model I call brand chemistry, which is the whole reason I'm in this lab coat right now. So join me to talk about that shortly.